Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I hope you're having a great day and that all is well with you because we are going to check out a very cool knife and we're going to do it right now. This is the NULL Knives RAIKOU. Would you look at it? I mean, just look at it. The RAIKOU, aka the Thunder Beast. This is the Wharncliffe version of the NULL Knives Dayton, which I'm gonna have to check out one of these days too. But would you look at this? This is a beautiful, and I mean a beautiful, yet functional, which I'll show you here in just a second. Very functional, despite the fact that it's beautiful. A knife can be pretty and still very functional. Did I say pretty? Okay, how about handsome? It's a handsome knife. And there are gonna be different versions of this bad boy, but let me take you from one end down to the other before we get the blade out, because once I get that blade out, all hope is lost. It has T8 hardware, and I love this version right here. And look at this, look at this. Look at the pivot. Oh yeah, I love me some texture. If I can get it to focus, my focus needs more focus. If I can get it to focus on that beautiful texture, would you look at that? That is a very, very nice pivot. There's something about texture that drives me crazy. And this is a frame lock. It does have a steel lock bar insert. But are you ready to see this blade? Let's get it out. Pow! Right in the kisser. Oh yeah, now look at that bad boy. That is a Wharncliffe and a half, or maybe a quarter, but look at this. It is a Wharncliffe Poon. It's a harpoon Wharncliffe. And check this out. I like this. So you have vertical lines up here on this swedge, and then you have horizontal lines on the flat, and then you have vertical lines on the primary bevel. That looks very nice. Very, very nice. And did you notice before that where it says it somewhere? Where does it say? This is S90V. I could have swore I saw that somewhere on this blade. Maybe I didn't, but I'm fairly certain this is CPM S90V steel. And ooh, yeah, look at that. And I like how okay, let me put it this way. Look at the lines of it. See how they're all very distinct, but yet they flow at the same time. And then I'll tell you a little something about this little harpoon action right here. I like how the format comes up. You have a small harpoon right here that matches the harpoon on the blade. It's a very symmetrical knife. It's 7.73 inches overall. Your blade is 3.45 inches, so it has a nice length. It has a 3.3 inch cutting length. The handle is grade 5 6AL 4V titanium, baby. Oh yeah, you know we love us some titanium, and I love the finish on this version. And I will put a link in the description to the website where these are gonna be available and you can check out the different versions for yourself. This bad boy weighs in at 3.65 ounces and it has a very nice cutout for the thumb on the reverse flick, and I'll show you that here right now. If you see on this side, it has plenty of room for your reverse flick to get in here on this fuller, this cutout, and the reverse flick is phenomenal. Are you ready to see it? Oh yeah, look at that. It is so comfy to reverse flick. You have all of this real estate, depending on where your hand falls and the size of your hand, you're gonna be able to get inside that fuller for a reverse flick very nicely. And look at this. A little bit of slow roll action, very easy on the slow roll. And then these thumb studs, look at here. Just take a look. I love the graduation. I graduated. I love the graduation of these thumb studs. See there? Look at how it stepped up. And at the top, it has that nice little bit of aggression that grabs your skin. It's not bad aggression. I'm talking good aggression here. It grabs your skin. You're not going to have misses or flick offs. We should have a flick off. You're not going to have flick offs because it grabs your thumb every single time. There's no mistaken. It's very distinct when you deploy this knife. When you put your fingers back here, it locks them. It's almost like jimping for your thumb studs. I love the feel. I wish more thumb studs were done like this and have this little tiny edge at the top that catches your skin so you don't miss it. And speaking of don't miss it and catching your skin, very good jimping done right here. If I would have had my preferences, I would have gone for a little bit more. I'll show you that. And I have a couple things to note in the ergos here in just a second. You know, I got to put it up next to the QSP Penguin for size reference. So there you go. It is longer than the Penguin, has more blade than the Penguin, but it does have a Wharncliffe. That is something that they do have in common. And I think I almost missed showing you. Look at this. I love this fragmented back spacer, and this pocket clip does very well. And the ergo wise, there's a kind of a little sharp, not a sharpness, but the spot right here. And I believe that has already been addressed. And as far as your ergos, my hand is 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 from here to here, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger, 7.25. And it feels very nice, very, very nice. Now, there are a couple things when I come in that come into play with me with, being nitpicky, not being nitpicky, but telling you things that I've noticed with having this. I've had it, I don't know, a little while now, not very long, about a week. There's a couple things. Now, this is going to be a user, I would call it maybe more of a high-end user because of the materials that you get, and the jimping works very well. Where my hand falls, I would prefer the jimping come out a little bit farther, but that's just a preference with me. You know I love my jimps, baby. And then when closing the knife, as far as your pass-through, there's no pass-through to be heard of, but you do have some nice texture on the inside of the lock bar right here. And the thing with me is where my hand falls and where I tend to close it oh, by the way, did I mention that this thing is riding on air? It is smooth as silk. It feels so good. It feels premium. When you're shutting and opening this knife, it just floats. You can tell that it was machined and done very well with great tolerances. It is so smooth. But getting back to the action, when I go to disengage the lock bar, where my hand happens to fall, this poon up here on the handle, you can see there's a kind of a point on that poon, happens to hit my hand the way I hold the knife, right in the middle of my finger. And that is a nitpick with me just because of how it feels the way I hold my knife when I close it. It kind of pushes this corner into my finger. So if this were my knife for my hand, I would probably prefer that this poon be moved up just a little bit more. So the back of my middle finger, which is when I hold a knife to close it, that's where I'm holding it. It's between these two fingers when I close the knife. But that's just an observation. It's definitely not a deal breaker. I'm not hating anything about this knife. I really do like it. The form, the fit, the finish, the action. I mean, it is solid left and right. Left and right, I can almost feel something like maybe it needs tighten, but I mean, I am being super nitpicky because when I get a premium knife, I feel like I should be super nitpicky. But you have to remember, this might even be a prototype, because what's going on is on September 21st, you're going to be able to pre-order one of the versions of the NULL knives RAIKOU. And I mean, people are going to be going nuts over this knife because of the looks of it. I mean, just from a knife collector standpoint, just look at it. This thing is gorgeous. And this would definitely be an everyday carry because it fits very well in my hand. And there's some knives that they're lookers, but not users. This is a looker and a user. I love utility style blades. They are my favorite style, and it has just enough of a point so you can do your piercings for opening packages or opening up your Twinkie boxes and all of that. But it fits very well. And if I am holding it up here in this classic position with my thumb all the way up, I can feel the 90-degreeness right here of the body, along with the 90-degreeness of the lock bar. So, I guess if you're really doing some heavy pushing, some heavy cutting, that could come into play depending upon how you hold it. But I don't see this as one that you're going to be doing bushcrafting with. This is an everyday carry knife that you're going to do everyday carry tasks with. And you're going to enjoy how smooth this knife is. I love it. It is done very well. I love the looks of it. I love everything about it. Just a couple nitpicks about the ergonomics, the way I hold my knife and the way I deploy and disengage the lock bar. But I will have a link down in the comments and in the description of this video where you can go and check it out. It's going to be live on the day this video releases. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss Beez Blades live at the Hive. All right, every Friday night. Come and check it out. You'll find out what you're missing. Plus, you might win something. Hey, go check this video. You're really going to enjoy that. And until I see you again in the lives or the chats or in the comments of this video, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.